Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for this week's Dana White Contender Series event. It's quite a little switch up with your hosts, TV Scouting MMA and
the Guru back for the first time here for Dana White Contender Series, Season 6, Week 1. Straight up, I'm not sure how many weeks of this we're going to do. We're going to give it a try. And honestly, for the longest time, I couldn't even get, I'm not even sure if you will watch, I couldn't even get TV to watch Dana White Contender Series. And all of a sudden, these guys started to creep into the UFC, and I think he started to see the value in it. And now, with just the betting lines being open, weigh-ins, and just a need for content, we're like, you know what? Why not try handicapping these fights a little bit, or at least just watch a little bit of tape, see what we see, and give it a shot. Because the cool thing about lower level MMA is that when you're able to scout it, right? Like, if that makes any sense, you can see things a little bit more clearly, but at the same time, the fight IQ is lower, the skill level is of course lower, and the volatility is much, much higher. So basically everything that we play is like sliced in half unit wise. So if your unit is $10 modestly, which is fine, we suggest your unit for our plays, at least for Dana White Contender Series, just be 5, because that's how we're doing it, and I wouldn't want to be disingenuous.
hey, that's definitely fair. Um, Looks like running the stream with the live tabs up here. It's kind of making things a little slow. I might pivot over to our Bet MMA page if anything else. So we may or may not have this tapology up here as we go. Just looks like it's giving me a lot of feedback and not fully loading. But to jump into our, we'll go top to bottom here, same way we do for UFC cards. We got our first, our main event of the evening is Ozzy Diaz versus Joseph Pyfer. This fight should be a banger. The over-under was set at 1.5, so Vegas expecting this thing, to end quickly. I just thought it was a little weird because at this point, we got an even line. As far as the money line goes, on DraftKings, Ozzy Diaz -110, Joe Pyfer -110. So you're telling me that one of those even money fights is expected to end under 1.5 is like a +130. So from a prop angle for this main event, I'm actually looking to kind of fade the narrative, go over 1.5 for +130. And then also, if I'm looking just straight at the money line here, I think the guy I'd be looking at is Ozzy Diaz. We see a bit of a size advantage. He is going to be 3 inches taller, at least on paper here on Tapology. He looked a little bigger at the weigh also when they did their face-off. So that's something I liked on the Diaz side. Also, I think he leans into his punches a bit more. I think he's got a bit more power, whereas Pyfer, he kind of picks his spots, is a little more like, touching, and he'll get in there with some of his strikes, but I feel like it's more against the guys that can't offer anything back. Like Diaz is not afraid to just go face first into a war. So while that could be a bad thing once you get into the higher levels on Dana White's Contender Series, you love to see that. And +130 there on Tapology, it says, which, I'm not necessarily
Probably where it opened
seeing those odds anywhere. But right now, at least if you go take a look over, I mean, I don't even see this fight listed, which doesn't make any sense on FanDuel at the moment.
It's there.
I only saw that.
You click on UFC fights, it's there. -108.
Well, yeah, but I see the other fights, but that's the only fight I don't see.
I am looking at it.
So what are the odds, Guru? Tell me.
I just told you -108 even money.
Okay, cool. So you get slightly better odds there on FanDuel at -108. I would be going with Diaz in that case. But Guru, what do you think on this fight?
Already some friction off the top, and you can feel it in our banter. No, I'm on the other side. I'm on Joseph Pyfer here. A lot of interesting tape to be seen. You may recognize Joseph Pyfer. He recently fought on Dana White Contender Series, Season 4, Week 2. He had a loss to Dustin Stoltzfus, who you might remember just from 2 weeks ago, where he won UFC Long Island, and I believe saved himself his UFC job because he was on a 3-fight losing streak. In that fight, he's actually having a pretty good fight there with Dustin, takes Dustin down. They kind of go into a bit of a scramble, and towards the end of that round, Dustin goes to take him down, and he goes to post when he shouldn't, and his arm snaps, dislocates, breaks, both dislocates and breaks. He needs 2 surgeries and 16 months off before he can return. Doctors were concerned that he may never be the same. However, he comes back CFFC 104. I was live in attendance and looked fantastic. It's against a relatively decent competition. I mean, the problem was who he was scheduled to face called out last moment. So it was a stepping guy in Austin Trotman, and he put a great performance together against Austin Trotman, putting him down with a right hook in round 2. What I saw is that, he has really fluid striking. He's got a nice use of leg kicks and feints, and he's really not a problem to be grappling. Like, he doesn't have an issue grappling. And what I see with Ozzy Diaz is kind of similarly he really likes to sit on his punches, nice stiff jab, nice overhand. Like TB said, not afraid to get in a war. But I think against somebody like Joseph Pyfer, who's been to the dance, but also 6 years younger, but still has more experience. And you also have to consider that, I really do like I lean Pyfer here, and I do like your idea of leaning towards the over 1.5, but I do kind of feel like there will be a finish, because if you look at these guys' records, I mean, tons of finishes.
That's fair. I think it's a step up on both sides as far as competition goes. I think on the feet, Diaz is much better than Stoltzfus too. And if you're on the Pyfer side, I'm definitely on the over. I think he's got much less finishing potential than Ozzy Diaz. So I'll probably just fucking play the over 1.5. But I'm curious if Diaz slides to like a plus money play at any point before Contender Series pops off. Yeah, we'll get at that. So yeah, keep an eye. We're actually putting a little bit of stuff on BMMA. So this one hasn't made it on there yet.
Honestly, as far as this fight goes, I don't have my strongest feelings about this fight, other than my strongest feeling being I am so fucking excited for it. Ozzy, former LFA middleweight champion, like we said, Pyfer, former Dana White Contender Series contestant already. Just a really, really incredible matchup that I'm certainly excited for. I imagine that the winner gets a contract. Because that's not guaranteed. You gotta get out there and earn it. You gotta get out there and earn it, boys.
Yeah, we'll see what season. Yeah, we'll see what kind of season this is like on Dana White Contender Series. Are they still fucking desperate for all these 10 by 10 contracts, or is it going to be like one guy an episode? Regionals back up and running. I saw someone on Twitter talking about it. It's like, regional scenes are back up and running, so maybe they're not as desperate for every single winner from Contender Series. We'll find out, right? Next fight here, we got Anton Turkalj versus Acacio dos Santos. And Turkalj here, you see him as a gigantic favorite, listed on Tapology here as a minus 300. You head on over to DraftKings, and you see he's actually minus 190. So, on our books that we got out here, there's a little bit of value on that, I think. But Guru, what'd you see on the tape here, man? Because you got 7-overs, 14-4, and it looks like they match up pretty well as size goes. And Turkalj is a slightly younger guy. So, what do you think?
Dude, what I saw from Turkov is an incredibly polished prospect. Somebody with extremely solid boxing, good knees, tons of pressure, willing to use a variety of different combinations. Also good. What you like to see, them bows, baby. Use them elbows, quick.
Throw them bows.
At lightweight, the toughest, widely considered the toughest division in the sport. You better be quick. He's fast. Some of the negatives maybe being I've seen him kind of get pushed up against the cage. Sometimes he can wing punches, and I've seen him a little bit too comfortable on the ground. Whether just in terms of not willing to inflict damage or fight to get up. So those things can be a concern. However, if you watched his last fight, that Brave FC fight, he's not fighting squash guys. Like, this is not Can City. And he goes out there at Brave FC and he gets over a 5-1 guy. He nails the the fastest knockout in Brave C. I said FC 6 times. The Brave CF fastest knockout in their league's history. 13 seconds via spinning back fist. I mean, it was fucking dirty. The dude is impressive by all means, you know.
Okay.
So, you know, he has his one loss that you see there on Tapology is a grappling exhibition loss to Alexander Gustafsson, you know, and right, like, I mean, he's a lightweight.
Right.
Why are you grappling Alexander Gustafsson?
For shits and giggles.
Yeah, exactly, because you're awesome.
Well, I
mean,
yeah,
and he's from Sweden, and he's from Sweden, and well,
yeah.
he's from Sweden. He's from Sweden, so I mean,
well, he's a light heavyweight also. What are you talking about?
Oh, light heavy. I said lightweight. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. Your guru's tripping.
So,
it's all good. We're
no,
working off Tapology. We're doing Dana White Contender Series. It's all good. But listen, I think at the end of the day, you see a guy that's able, when he misses a roundhouse head kick, he's able to spin off into a spinning back fist smoothly in the same motion. Fastest knockout in Brave history. You see like guys like that have the special type of like ability to piece together even when things aren't going perfectly. That's the perfect thing you want to see. And a guy that had an 11-3 amateur record as well. So it's not like he doesn't have the type of experience you'd like to see coming in against the 14-4. So yeah, let's go ahead. We'll do a little parlay here. So that's the first leg, -190, and we'll move on to our next fight. We got Dennis Buzukja.
I was gonna also say that Turkish by finish is really I think a fair stab whenever those props start to come out, because Dos Santos, who's lost by finish 3 out of 4 of his times, he's got, you know, really he keeps his head on the center line and really lacks head movement and can be quite slow and lumbering. Not to mention he's also 4 years older than him. I really expect Anton to come out and blow up. I honestly expect him to steal the show. Of all the prospects I think I watched, he was probably the most impressive.
All right. Well, I mean, under 2.5 is -195. So they're expecting this fight not to be going the distance, but for it to be the 2.5 as opposed to a 1.5, that's actually something that I feel like is worth looking at if you don't like Turkalj as the side as much and you'd rather play the under 2.5 at the same price. Not a terrible thought.
The other prospect I like that we unfortunately lost was Farid Basharat, who his opponent, who we were going to be on taking a slight value play at +210 because we saw the lines going the other way on Willian Souza, missed weight by 10 pounds earlier today, so that fight was removed from the card.
Brutal.
And honestly,
so here we are.
I'm totally okay with that.
Totally cool. I'll take that money back. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Our next fight, we got Dennis Buzukja versus Kaleio Romero. You got the line -200 Buzukja and Romero +170. I'm going to go ahead and say that J is silent, so that's why I'm rolling with Bazooka here. Or maybe it could be Buzukja. Maybe it could be Buzukja.
That's what it is. It's
Buzukja. All right.
100%.
We're working through pronunciations. 100%. We're doing great things here on Chronic Combat. We got Dennis Buzukja versus Kaleio KO Romero. That's a pretty elite nickname. As far as like letters in the name, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just pretty clear. You got the 7-2 Buzukja. You know, Adalongo BMMA Guru. I know you did a lot on this fight, so take it away, man. Tell us where you're at.
No, super cool. He is out of Serra-Longo MMA, but similar to our bantamweight champ Aljamain Sterling, he is currently at Extreme Couture. I don't blame you, Couch Warrior. He's currently now at Extreme Couture, right? We love to see that, working on his craft, getting better. We really do love to see that kind of stuff. Buzukja is somebody who's very patient. And you see that in his 4 decision wins and only 3 KOs. He's got a nice jab, great counters, very solid combinations. He's a willingness to work the body, which you love to see. Had nice uppercuts. He took down Melsik Bagdasaryan multiple times. And if you've seen Melsik Bagdasaryan fight, he's a fucking savage. He's still undefeated at this point in time, or at least undefeated in the UFC at this point in time. And that was his last loss. Again, this Buzukja is a guy that was on Dana White Contender Series just a couple seasons ago, season 4, week 5. And since then, what you love to see, he's had 3 fights, all wins. Not necessarily against the highest level of competition, but you get the fights that you get, and you win them, and that's what he's done. And he looked decent while doing them. So you go on the other side to that with Kaleio Romero, and the guy, if the Tapology picture doesn't give it away, which unfortunately it's not loading, it's a picture of him. It's a picture of him wrestling. He's literally in his singlet and the earmuffs, and he's wrestling. So he's a wrestler, and he's a good wrestler. He loves to feint on the takedown. He's got good entries on the takedowns. He's got good sprawls for takedown defense. The problem is he's quite wrestling dependent, and he's not as comfortable with his striking, which you would imagine. So, Mr. KO Rodriguez only has 2 KOs, 3 subs.
Romero.
And Romero. What did I say? Oh, I said Rodriguez. Jeez. KO Romero.
Yeah, jeez.
I'll be all right, man.
We'll make it.
But everybody knows what I'm talking about. So KO Romero only has 2 KOs in his 6 wins. So that's not amazing. He's a southpaw, which is super interesting.
You're not living up to your name, kid.
No, and it is interesting though, for somebody that's not necessarily comfortable striking, he is comfortable switching stances. He's got long limbs. Yeah, I'm just he's got a 5-0 amateur career too, which was interesting. And his one loss, he took a knockout. Oh, so this is the one big thing, and this is the major caveat, right? 6-1, not so bad, right? The problem is his one loss is versus the one opponent he has with a winning record. Let me walk you through it really fast. 0-3 debut, his opponent is 2-2, 0-11, 2-2, finally faces the guy with an 11-3 record, loses, wins a 2-2, wins a 7-12. And now he's fighting Buzukja. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
Aljamain Sterling's protege.
Buzukja's problem here might be his patience, but if he can just fire on and be there if he can just be on proper cylinders, like I really do, I expect him to win. So I do like the over, because I have a feeling that Romero is not necessarily just like a bum per se. Like, I think he's going to come out there and show a decent fight, but you can't there. I don't think there's value on the dog here. Like, I think Buzukja should be a sound. He probably should have been sound. Like, again, he lost to Melsick. Like, dude should have probably already been in the UFC. So I think he not only wins, but gets a contract. And I like the overs. I like that.
I feel you on that, Guru. I'm going to try to take you people over to a very important place right now, something that we don't normally show you here. This is our BMMA Page, people, as it's loading. And here's a little sneak peek of what we got going on coming up this week, something we don't normally do for you here. So
very true.
Pulling up our picks on the screen here. So Souza, we were going to take like a little shot at the plus 210. That's been wiped away. But you can see there we got a little parlay. So Buzukja and Turkalj, we're looking at a plus 129. We put down half a unit. And it could win a little over a unit, if or maybe a little less than a unit if that play comes together for us. That's a little something fun. And you're not risking, what we won this weekend.
Absolutely. And like we said, I thought it was disingenuous when we do all that work for a UFC card and we'll do a parlay similar to that on the money line and we'll do a unit. Like, how can it be the same? It can't. Right. Because it's Dana White Contender Series. It's just not. It's not the same level, and it doesn't deserve that in terms of that. But it does deserve our time and attention, and even a fun little betting show we got going on here.
For sure.
So make sure you like and subscribe and send it around. At TB Scouting MMA, at Guru Scouting MMA. Check us out, man.
Here's our BMMA Page. This is what we always talk about betmma.tips/chronic combat. Right up top there, you can see here's our name. It shows you very easily if it's a straight pick or if you got a prop or a parlay, and then it'll show you the odds for each individual thing, which book we placed it on. And ooh, look at that, UFC 277. You don't say. We got our first bet up there, don't we?
Yes, we
If you're
do.
following us there, you might catch some stuff before the line movement. We like to throw a few things earlier in the week. So, yeah, you'll have to wait till our breakdown show on Wednesday with the one and only DFS by the numbers to get our idea of why you got that pick going on. So,
We
yeah,
got
there's
one.
our
We got one
performance
last
over
fight here.
time. And, yeah, here we go. We got one more fight up 11 units
Let's
all time.
tap
Look
out.
at us.
Yeah, let's break down this fight
All
real
right.
quick and
So
get
here we
out of
go.
here.
All right. As you guys saw, we don't have a play on this fight. We got Alessandro Costa versus Andres Luna Martinetti. You got 10-2 versus 12-0. We don't even have the age on the Tapology page for Alessandro Costa, which is kind of sketchy to me. We got the flyweights here. Martinetti looks like he's going to be the much bigger guy. But he's also out of nobody now here. But yeah, Alessandro Costa should be the better grappler, I think, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's just Tapology fucking up because in his last fight he was listed at 25, so he'll either be 25 or 26 depending on when his birthday is.
All right. That's fair.
So yeah, so Alessandro Costa is going to be the significantly shorter fighter here by 2-3 inches for sure. With that being said, I expect him to be the much better fighter. He's much more polished. He's fought the much higher level of competition. He's the 3-time Lux Fight League flyweight champion. And Lux Fight League is not some scrub promotion. They are Fight Pass booked and broadcasted. Like they're a good promotion. They got some good stuff going. They got some good stuff going on over there. He's got good combos. He's really comfortable on the feet. Good hand fighting against the cage. He had a nice flying knee after recovering after getting rocked. He great straight punches, swings hard. He's got the flashy spinning stuff. Good use of the feints. He's got the nice leg trips. I mean, he really can do it all. Maybe some of the negatives I've seen is that he doesn't like to be pressured. And he was dropped by a head kick, which I did see. But like I said, he kind of fought to stay up using a solid whizzer, which was good. You like to see that kind of stuff. And which was kind of not good. He kind of ducks into and wings, like when he wings his right overhand right. So he like throws that overhand and he'll like duck his head with it. So that's not cool. Like if somebody times that right, they can probably get you with an uppercut or whatever. But these guys go so fast. So on the other side of this coin, you got Anders Luna Martinetti, who 26 years old, 6 sub wins, 4 decision wins, and 2 KOs. He's undefeated. So you're like, oh wow, that's impressive. Is it though? Back to the sketchy records, right? Makes the debut. 0-0 guy, 0-0, 0-0. Guys 2-0, 6-4, 0-2, 0-2, 5-2, 13-7. The 9-1 was a decision win, which is decently impressive, but the record doesn't mean much because the guy himself hadn't faced anybody to earn that 9-0. 6-5 against Francisco Benitez, and then another 7-7. My point is when you're fighting these guys on the regional circuit in Tijuana, Mexico, like they're not the best level of competition. For example, he wins his fight to get to Dana White Contender Series with a calf slicer. He's got the dude like full banana split. Like you're not gonna win that way here. Like it just was too you win that way in a grappling match, not in an MMA match. So when you see wins like that, at least to me, that doesn't mean to me that he's some sort of grappling phenom that Alessandro Costa needs to be worried. To me, it's like he hasn't really fought the better level of competition. And while he may be bigger in a little bit in size, I like the guy here with a lot more experience. This guy, Anders Luna, has been bouncing, as you can see right there. It says bantamweight. He's huge. He's not really a flyweight. Like he really should probably be a bantamweight. Like he's fucking huge. So the bouncing back and forth between flyweight and bantamweight doesn't necessarily inspire any faith in me. when I have this guy in Costa who to me looks like a legit flyweight prospect that they should sign. So hopefully he gets it done. I do expect him to win. I kind of like him in that parlay that we had. I kind of wish we could have added him in. We posted a little early because we liked it, which is fine. I kind of would have done a 3-legger with Costa in there. I also kind of like Costa by finish. So no, but it's all good. Don't give me the. It's all good.
Yeah, just wait till he wins with the walls of fucking Jericho. Okay.
The walls of Jericho. Yeah,
So,
literally.
yeah. All right. I think we did our best here. All right. It's been real.
Yeah, that's
people.
it. We did the best we could. Play light, play fun. I can't wait to watch. I'll be tweeting live, hopefully, with who the parental units pick because they want to watch because we've been watching Tough on Tuesdays.
Right.
So
Sounds
hopefully
good.
they watch too. But that's it. 25 minutes. Take care, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday for UFC 277 with DFS by the numbers, Mr. Brady.
Hell yeah.